Part 1. The Last Quiet Day on Orcs Station. The Orcs Station floated silently above a dying star. It was a mixed research base, built by humans and aliens long ago. The station was small, compared to the huge fleets that once patrolled this part of space. Now, only a few humans remained, and they worked alongside alien allies. The war with the Vorath, a powerful enemy empire, had nearly destroyed everything. Humans were almost gone, scattered across hidden worlds, or so everyone believed. Inside the station, the metal walls gleamed under dim lights. The hum of machines filled the air. In the communication bay, Ethan Cole, a human engineer, moved carefully between panels. He checked old circuits, rewiring broken connections. Most of the systems were useless, and Ethan knew it. But he still worked. It gave him something to do, something to hold on to. He had lost his family long ago when Earth went dark. Every day was the same, quiet and lonely. But work made it bearable. Lily Hart, another human, sat nearby with a small pile of books and data pads. She was a linguist, obsessed with human languages and history. Aliens thought her work was strange, even silly. She studied old songs, poems, and phrases, trying to keep human culture alive. She often hummed quietly to herself, a song that no one else understood. It was her way of remembering the humans who were lost. The alien commander, Krivtal, a tall reptilian with green scales, entered the room. His movements were sharp and precise. He was strict, but fair. Kriv had worked with humans for years, and he respected them, even if he did not always understand them. Behind him followed Sarah Lynn, a soft-spoken avian scientist with feathered wings folded neatly against her back. She was quiet, but curious, always looking for patterns and mysteries. Kriv called the team to a meeting. The main hall was cold and metallic. He stood at the front, looking at the humans and aliens gathered there. "We have bad news," he said. His voice was calm but firm. "The last Alliance fleet has vanished. We do not know where they went. The war is almost over." The room went silent. Even the aliens who had fought the Vorath for years felt a chill. Hope was fading. Ethan clenched his fists. He had almost given up on everything. Lily bit her lip and looked at the floor. The idea that humans were completely lost seemed more real than ever. Sarah, however, noticed something strange. Her sensors had picked up a faint pattern in the long-range static. At first, she thought it was nothing, just star noise, but the pattern repeated in a way that suggested design. She tapped on her tablet. "There is something here," she said quietly. "I am not sure what it is, but it seems deliberate." Kriv frowned. "A pattern in the static? Could it be a trap?" "Maybe," Ethan said, shrugging. "But old human receivers are more sensitive than these sensors. I could try repairing the one in the back room." Lily's eyes lit up. "If it is human, we should see it. Humans do not make random patterns like this." The team moved to the old communication bay. Ethan pulled out a dusty human receiver, the kind humans used long ago to communicate across light years. It was small, fragile, and barely functional. He wiped the dust away and began working. Sparks flew occasionally, but after hours of careful work, the device hummed with life. The team gathered around. Ethan connected the receiver to the station's network. The lights flickered. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a small alert popped on the screen. A signal. Faint, but clear. "What is it?" Kriv asked, leaning forward. "I think it is human," Lily said, her voice trembling slightly. "The modulation pattern. It matches old human transmission methods." The screen blinked again. A small message appeared. It was written in human language. Simple words. Clear and direct. "From Earth. Urgent." Ethan stared at the screen. He could not believe it. Earth. Sending a signal? After all these years? Kriv narrowed his eyes. It could be a trap. We cannot trust it. Lily shook her head. No. This is real. Humans never send messages like this to trick allies. This is a real human call for help. Sarah looked closely at the signal. The structure is too complex for the Voreth. They do not use this pattern. Only humans could have made it. The tension in the room grew. Creve looked at Ethan. What do you suggest? Ethan hesitated. His heart beat fast. He knew this was dangerous. If the signal was a trap, it could destroy the station. But if it was real, if humans still existed, then ignoring it could mean death for those who survived. I will route it through the old receiver, Ethan said quietly. We can see what it says without exposing the station to danger. Creve sighed, but nodded reluctantly. Do it. But be careful. If anything seems wrong, shut it down immediately. Ethan connected the signal. The receiver whined and crackled. The lights on the station flickered as the signal tried to connect fully. Then, slowly, the message unfolded on the screen. Lines of text appeared, followed by blocks of data. Lily leaned in, her eyes wide. Look, she whispered. There are old human codes here. Messages, even songs, personal notes. This is not a trap. Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. The human signature was unmistakable. The message was old, simple, but alive. It was as if someone from Earth had reached across the void to say, "We are still here." The message continued. It described something called the Veil Array. According to the text, Earth had never been fully destroyed. Humans had hidden it behind a massive shield that protected the planet from the Vorath. But the shield was failing. The Vorath had found a way to breach it. The message begged for help, giving coordinates and technical data. Creve stepped back. He looked at the humans in the room. If this is true, he said slowly, we may have been wrong. Earth may still exist. Lily's hands shook. We have to help. We cannot just ignore this. Sarah nodded. And the signal contains technology. A defensive design humans call a phase mirror. It can redirect enemy energy back at them. If we can make it work, it could protect us all. Creve rubbed his face. We cannot risk the station on an untested device. It may fail. Ethan stepped forward. If we do nothing, Earth dies. The last humans could be lost forever. We cannot just stand here. The room was silent for a long moment. Finally, Creve spoke. We will test it. Carefully. 1. Controlled experiment. If it works, we may have a chance. If it fails, we prepare for evacuation. Lily smiled faintly, hope shining in her eyes. Then we have to start now. Every moment counts. The team began to plan. Ethan checked his tools and made a list of modifications for the receiver and the station's energy systems. Lily studied the signal carefully, decoding parts of the human message that contained subtle instructions. Sarah calculated the energy patterns needed to test the phase mirror safely. Creve organized security and defenses, keeping a watchful eye on every movement. As the day passed, a quiet excitement grew among the team. For the first time in years, they felt a spark of hope. Humans had sent a signal across the galaxy. Humans were still alive, and maybe, just maybe, they could change everything. But danger waited in the dark. The Vorath had eyes everywhere, and any signal from Earth could have already drawn attention. The Aura station was small, defenseless, in open space. One mistake could destroy them all. Ethan worked late into the night, adjusting circuits, soldering broken connections, and running simulations. He felt the weight of years, of lost family, and of human history pressing on his shoulders. But he also felt something else, a strange, bright hope. Humans were still out there, calling to them, asking for help. Lily stayed close, translating lines of the signal. She read aloud simple messages, sometimes personal notes from Earth. "Remember the gardens," she whispered one time. "The children. The songs." It was small and human, but it reminded them why they fought. Sarah monitored the systems quietly, her head tilted as she watched strange patterns form in the signal. She spoke softly. "This is clever. Humans never give up. Even when everything is lost, they find a way." Kriv watched them all, and finally allowed himself to believe, just a little. Maybe humans were not gone. Maybe hope was not dead, and maybe, just maybe, a single human transmission could change the fate of the galaxy. As the first night passed on Orcs Station, the signal pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. The station seemed quieter, safer, but also alive with purpose. Ethan, Lily, Kriv, and Sarah all knew the same thing: they were about to take the first step into something bigger than themselves. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, a human voice had traveled across light years, reaching those who still remembered how to listen. The part ended with the team watching the signal, waiting to see what it would say next. The hum of the station, the glow of distant stars, and the faint pulse of the human transmission filled the room. For the first time in years, hope felt real. Part 2. Decoding the impossible message. The signal from Earth continued to pulse through the old receiver. Ethan and Lily worked side by side, their eyes fixed on the screen. Blocks of data flowed across the display, forming patterns, text, and strange sequences that seemed almost alive. It was more than a message, it was a puzzle. Lily pointed to a line of symbols. "Look here," she said. "This is human. The structure is old, but it is clever. They hide instructions inside messages like this. It is not just information. It is a test." Ethan leaned over her shoulder. "A test? From Earth? After all these years?" He shook his head. "They never stop surprising me." Sarah, who had been observing quietly, tilted her head. "These patterns are not random. They follow a logic that matches old human technology. Even when humans are gone, their thinking leaves a mark." This could work. Kriv paced the room. He did not like surprises, and he did not like risking the station. "You are telling me," he said slowly, "that humans are still alive, that they are sending instructions, and that these instructions may help us defend ourselves. Is that correct?" Lily nodded. "Yes. And more. They describe something called the Veil Array. Earth was never fully destroyed. Humans hid the planet behind a massive shield. But now it is failing. The Vorath are coming." Ethan swallowed hard. "We thought humans were gone. We thought there was no hope left. But this is real. Earth still exists." Kriv stopped pacing and stared at the display. He knew the Vorath were strong, nearly unstoppable. But if humans had survived, if they had built something like the Veil Array, maybe there was a chance. Maybe humans could still fight back. Sarah spoke again. "The signal contains technical data. Plans for a defensive device called a phase mirror. It redirects energy, bends attacks back at the enemy. Humans designed it. If we can build it, it could save lives." Ethan felt a spark of excitement. He had worked with humans for years, repairing old technology. But nothing like this. This was real human ingenuity, reaching across space. "We have to try," he said. "Even if it is dangerous. Even if it fails. We cannot ignore this." Kriv shook his head. "It is risky. We do not know the full power of this device. If it fails, the station may be destroyed." Lily put a hand on his arm. "We have no choice. The message says they need help. If we wait, the last humans may die." The team began working immediately. Ethan prepared tools, repaired old conduits, and checked energy systems. Lily decoded the instructions, reading lines of old human text, some of it humor, some of it technical. She laughed softly at a joke hidden in the data. "Humans never change," she said. "Even in a message like this, they make jokes." Sierra analyzed energy patterns and timing windows. She drew charts and graphs, explaining where small errors could cause failure. Kriv assigned security teams to watch for Vorath scouts. Every step was careful, measured, but the team moved fast. Time was short. Hours passed. The team worked without stopping. The old station, quiet for years, was alive with energy, the hum of machines, and the pulse of the human transmission. Every crew member felt the same excitement and fear. Humans were alive, and maybe, just maybe, they could make a difference. Then, a small alert appeared on the long-range sensors. Faint blips, moving fast, approaching the station. Kriv frowned. "Vorath," he said. "They are coming." Somehow, they found the signal. Ethan's heart raced. They must have traced the transmission. "We have no time to finish testing." Lily's eyes widened. "We cannot stop now. The message says the phase mirror can work even in rough conditions. We have to activate it." Sarah nodded. "If we fail, we may lose the station." Kriv took a deep breath. "Then we do this. Prepare for immediate activation." Ethan and Lily ran to the main control panels. Circuits hummed, and sparks flew, as Ethan connected the phase mirror's systems to the station's energy grid. Lily read the instructions aloud, guiding him through steps hidden in the human message. Every line had meaning. Every number mattered. The Vorath ships appeared on the sensors, larger and faster than expected. They began firing. Energy beams struck the station's outer shields. Sparks flew across the hull. Alarms blared. The crew braced for impact. Ethan forced the activation of the phase mirror. The device pulsed with energy. A strange wave of light spread across the station's hull. The beams from the Vorath bent in strange arcs, curving away, some even folding backward. The crew gasped. The impossible human design worked. Lily smiled, hope shining in her eyes. Sarah monitored the readings. "The energy is stable, but the pattern is new. It is bending attacks in ways the humans described. But there is more potential here. It can do more." Kriv kept the fleet on high alert. "This is good, but we are not safe. The Vorath will adapt. They will find weaknesses." Outside, the Vorath adjusted their weapons. Beams struck the phase mirror in new ways, testing it. Sparks flew inside the station. Circuits overloaded in places. The crew worked frantically to adjust the system, following human instructions and their own instincts. Ethan and Lily moved together, rewiring circuits, recalibrating the mirror, guided by the patterns hidden in the human message. The instructions were clever, but incomplete. Human creativity and instinct were needed to complete them. Every mistake could be fatal. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Finally, the phase mirror stabilized. Energy beams from the Vorath ships bent backward, striking enemy vessels. The Vorath were stunned. Several ships were destroyed almost instantly. The Orcs station survived. Battered, but alive. Kriv looked at the display. "They did it," he said quietly. "Humans did it again. Even when we thought all hope was gone." Lily wiped sweat from her brow. "We followed their instructions, but the creativity that came from us, humans still have that spark. We cannot give up." Sarah nodded. "This is more than technology. It is hope, determination. Humans have left a mark on the galaxy that cannot be erased." Ethan sat back, exhausted but smiling. And it started with a single transmission. One message from Earth changed everything. The team gathered to decode the next part of the human signal. Another message was unlocking, containing coordinates and instructions for a place called the Origin Lattice. Earth asked Orcs Station to lead a mission there, promising a way to turn the war around. Kriv frowned, studying the star map. This is dangerous. The lattice. We do not know what to expect. The Vorath will be there, waiting. Lily looked at him and smiled. We have to try. The humans are counting on us, even if they are far away. The signal is more than a message. It is a plan. It is hope, Sarah added. And we now have proof that humans are not gone. They are alive in spirit, technology, and courage. If we follow their instructions, we may save more than the station. We may save the galaxy. Ethan felt a thrill run through him. The phase mirror had worked. The Orcs station had survived. And now, they had a path forward. Humans were alive, and their ingenuity could still turn the tide. The team worked through the night, decoding, testing, and preparing. The station was alive with energy, hope, and determination. Every crew member felt it. Humans had sent a message across light years, and it had reached them. Somewhere in the darkness of space, Earth waited, hidden behind its veil array. The signal was a call for help, but it was also a promise. Humans had not given up. And now, with the Orcs station as their ally, they had a chance to fight back. The part ended with the team staring at the human signal, knowing the next step would be even more dangerous. The origin lattice awaited. A place of mystery and power. The Vorath were coming. The station had survived once, but survival was only the beginning. Hope, fragile but real, pulsed through the Orcs station. One human transmission had changed everything. Part 3. Humans do the impossible again. The Orcs station buzzed with energy. The phase mirror, activated successfully, had saved them once from the Vorath. But the crew knew it was only a temporary victory. The human transmission had more to reveal, and the next part of the message promised something even bigger. A place called the Origin Lattice. It was said to hold the power to turn the war around, but reaching it would not be easy. Ethan Cole worked tirelessly in the station's engineering bay. Wires, circuits, and energy conduits surrounded him like a chaotic puzzle. He adjusted connections, tested energy flows, and followed the hidden patterns in the human instructions. Every step required precision. A small mistake could collapse the phase mirror or fry the station's systems. Lily Hart hovered nearby, reading the next layer of the transmission. She translated strange human phrases into clear commands. Some lines were technical. Others seemed like old jokes. She smiled faintly at a note that said, "Remember to tie your circuits like shoelaces. It keeps them alive." She shook her head. "Humans really never change," she whispered. Cyrilyn watched the systems carefully. The avian scientist had learned quickly to trust human designs. "The energy patterns are delicate," she said. "If the Vorath fire again, we have little room for error. The phase mirror is strong, but not invincible." Kriv Tal paced the command deck. The reptilian commander still doubted, but even he could not ignore the proof. Humans, even after all these years, had found a way to reach them, to guide them, to give hope. Suddenly, the sensors picked up movement in the distance. Faint blips grew larger. Vorath scouts were approaching the station. Kriv's eyes narrowed. "They are tracing the human signal." Ethan straightened. "We can't hide forever. The phase mirror can hold them off. But we need to finish the system upgrade first." Lily nodded. "We have to activate the new layer of the phase mirror. The human message has instructions for enhancement. It will bend attacks more effectively. Even redirect multiple beams at once," Sarah added. "But the patterns must be precise. Even a slight timing error will collapse the system." The team sprang into action. Ethan and Lily worked side by side, wiring conduits and translating patterns. Sparks flew as circuits connected, and the hum of energy filled the station. The Orcs station, quiet for so long, felt alive with purpose again. Vorath ships appeared on the main sensors. Their weapons glowed as they began firing. Beams struck the station, and alarms blared. The phase mirror activated automatically, bending the first wave of attacks, sending some beams back toward the enemy. The crew cheered quietly, but there was no time to celebrate. More waves were coming. Ethan focused on the controls, following the human instructions. Some lines were incomplete or confusing, but instinct guided him. He recalled old lessons from human engineering. Always test the flow. Always follow the rhythm. Always trust the pattern. Lily read aloud a line from the message. When the pattern breaks, listen to the silence. The solution is in the pause. She paused, then adjusted the timing sequence on the panel. The phase mirror pulsed brighter, bending the Vorath beams more effectively. Sarah observed the energy readings. "They are retreating," she said. "The beams are striking their ships. The pattern works. Even partially." Creve allowed himself a brief nod. "Good work. But this is only the beginning. They will adapt. We cannot rely on this alone." The Aura station shook as the Vorath changed tactics. New energy waves struck from different angles, testing the mirror's limits. Sparks flew across the corridors, and the crew moved quickly to stabilize the system. Ethan and Lily worked together, their movements precise and synchronized, guided by the human transmission. Hours passed in tense concentration. The phase mirror stabilized under their hands. Beams from the Vorath curved back, striking enemy vessels. Several ships were destroyed. The Orcs station had survived another attack. Lily wiped sweat from her brow. It worked. The instructions, the pattern. Humans never fail. When they try to help. Ethan smiled faintly. We only followed their lead. Humans designed it, but we completed it. The combination worked. Sarah nodded. And it proves humans are not gone. Their knowledge, creativity, and determination survive. Even after decades of war. Kriv studied the readings. We cannot let our guard down. The next part of the transmission mentions the origin lattice. Humans are asking us to lead a mission there. It will not be easy. It may be dangerous. Even deadly. Lily leaned over the screen, pointing at coordinates and diagrams. This is a place deep in space, near the galactic core. Earth says it holds a structure capable of changing the war's outcome. It is called the origin lattice. We have to go. Very teen. Origin lattice. Ethan felt a thrill of excitement. Humans left us a path. A plan. If we follow it, maybe we can change everything. Maybe we can save more than the station. Maybe we can save the galaxy. Sarah nodded. But we must prepare. The Vorath will not let us reach it easily. The path is dangerous, and we do not fully understand the lattice. Creve made a decision. We will prepare a small fleet. We will travel to the origin lattice, following the human instructions. We must be careful. But we cannot wait. If the Veil Array fails, we may lose Earth completely. Ethan and Lily began preparations for the journey. The Orcs station's systems were enhanced with the phase mirror technology, and the crew organized supplies and energy reserves. Alien pilots and human crew volunteered for the mission, ready to face danger for the first time in years. The night passed slowly, filled with anticipation. Ethan walked the quiet corridors, checking panels and systems. He thought of the humans on Earth, hidden behind the Veil Array. He thought of his lost family, and of all the humans who might still survive. Hope, long buried, had returned. Lily joined him, carrying a small datapad with the transmission. She smiled faintly. We are lucky, she said. Humans reached out to us. Even now, they guide us. Ethan nodded. And we will follow them. We will not fail. Humans never give up. And neither will we. The fleet prepared for departure. Eris Station, once quiet and abandoned, now hummed with life. Human ingenuity had given them a second chance. The phase mirror had worked. The next step was the origin lattice. It promised power, danger, and the possibility to change the war forever. As the ships detached from the station, stars passed quickly outside the observation windows. The Orcs fleet moved as one, carrying humans and aliens together, guided by a single human transmission. The journey would be long and perilous. But hope was alive. In the quiet of the control room, Kriv watched the stars. Humans, he muttered. Even when all seems lost, they find a way. Ethan and Lily stood beside him. We will not fail, Ethan said. They reached out to us. They believed in us. We will honor that trust. Sarah smiled faintly. And if the human pattern continues to guide us, the Vorath will not know what hit them. Humans have done the impossible before. And we will do it again. No. 4-3. 4-3. 4-3. 4-3. 4-3. 4-3. The Orcs fleet sped toward the coordinates in the human transmission. The origin lattice awaited. A place of mystery, power, and danger. The Vorath were certain to pursue, but the human message had given the crew something they had not felt in years. Real hope. The journey would test them all, humans and aliens alike. But the signal had done more than provide instructions. It had inspired courage, creativity, and determination. It reminded everyone that humans, even when small in number, could change everything. And so, the fleet continued, stars rushing past, the pulse of the human transmission echoing in every corridor, guiding them toward the unknown. The phase mirror had saved them once. But the true test awaited at the origin lattice. The part ended with the fleet moving steadily into deep space, the crew ready for what lay ahead. The human signal, alive and clever, had set a path that might save the galaxy. Hope was no longer a distant memory. It was real, bright, and unstoppable.